All believers may not be prophets, but you can be prophetic. Something happened recently in our fellowship. We're having a fellowship on a particular day, and then I was teaching them and on transformation, on the topic called transformation. And while we were discussing, I asked a question, and then one of us tried to answer the question, and for some reasons, the question came out maybe in a bad way, and everyone was laughing at her. And immediately I wanted to laugh, but then I feel I was restricted not to, and I had to call everyone to order. And then I began to ask them not to laugh at her because she was trying to answer the question. Then we continued the class after that, and then while I was yet teaching on that transformation, I began to refer to what happened in that meeting, and I began to say that while the people were laughing at this lady, this was typically an example or an instance that I was giving. I was now saying, while the people were laughing at this lady, that it was not really good. And I faced the lady to tell her that what if the Holy Spirit is using these persons to really transform your life? What if their actions, the Holy Spirit is portraying it to actually transform your life? Maybe because the Holy Spirit has discovered that you are easily hurt by the things people do, or maybe this is something you've been experiencing and the Holy Spirit wants to really deliver you from it. And this really was an example that I was giving. Then something happened that at the end of the meeting, the lady quickly, or should I say angrily, left the meeting and just banged the door on us immediately after we shared the grace. And everybody was shocked because they say they've never seen her in that kind of mood before. So quickly the next day I had to reach out to her and I asked her, what was actually happening to you that day, and why did you have to leave the meeting like that even when I was calling you? And she said something that was striking. She said, sir, that everything I was saying was reminding her of her past. I said, how do you mean? She said that everything I was saying was actually some things that have been happening to her in the past, that from her primary school even up till this time, because she is a 100 level student in the campus, that she has been experiencing bullying. Bullying in the sense that people always laugh at her and make jest of her anytime she tries to answer a question in class from primary school. And this was not something that I saw in the spirit, or I was not prophesying it. I was not in the spirit, or I was not trying to enter in the spirit, and I was not prophesying. I was just giving an example while I was teaching. Here is what I'm trying to say. A believer may not be a prophet necessarily, but you can be prophetic. So you don't need to enter into the spirit to do this thing. The Bible tells us that we are in the spirit. So it takes you fellowship. It takes you to stay long enough in the presence of God. And that thing that you are running to people to get answers on, when you can stay long enough in the presence of God, you self will receive that instruction. You self will receive that prophecy for yourself. One of the reasons Jesus came is to bridge the gap between us and God. But the believers of this generation has built that bridge again using pastors. The man of God said something, and I believe that so much. He said a believer can manifest as much as a pastor who preaches manifests. If only that believer can be yielded.